Welcome to the Tom Bernard Podcast with
co-host Catherine Brandt,
Andy Brant Bernard,
and Kristen Burt.
Kristen Burt with a big smile on her face and everything, ladies and gentlemen. We like it. Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So I look around. We see two women with smiles on their faces. Andy's in a good mood. Is everybody just trying to get through this horrible weather by trying to stay in a good mood?
Not been great.
Oh, God.
Saturday, I think it's supposed to be over.
Oh, is it? Well, that's good. Let's get over at some point. No
I
question.
shouldn't tell anyone it's going to be like 80 here today. So
What horrible weather.
sorry.
we were just 80 a few days ago. It's been really bouncing around with all of these winter storms sweeping across the country.
That is a fact.
This had to be a really strong one to get it down into the freezing here. This is southern Florida. We don't get that.
There's another storm coming through Saturday, Sunday, I think, on the East Coast.
Perfect.
Well, it is this is the worst. January, February is the worst. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty much true, no question about it. So I want to be entertained by going to movies that are recommended by Kristen Burt. That's what I want.
Well, I watched a movie. You're going to have to wait until January 30th on Netflix to watch it. But let me tell you, I promised you that I'd give you the rundown on Miracle, the Boys of 80, which is the documentary. So remember, it was the 45th anniversary for the Miracle on Ice last year.
Sure.
And they filmed a documentary, obviously timing it to the Olympics this year. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to get through this without sobbing their eyes out.
Really?
Yeah, and it's so interesting because they really set the scene very well. They talk about all of them starting on Team USA in 1979 ahead of the Lake Placid Olympics, and just talking about the economy's bad and, nobody likes politics. People were upset. There was a gas crisis, all of this stuff. And I'm like, it feels very similar to right now. Really interesting, and how this team kind of rallied the country and brought them together. Because they were saying like nobody was like rooting for the U.S. at this point, just in terms of like collectively feeling good as a nation. And then all of a sudden the Olympics happen and everyone just kind of like came together. Everyone was around their TVs rooting for the guys. But what they do is that they bring all the members who are alive. Obviously, Coach Herb Brooks passed away in 2003, and they've lost, I think, 3 other team members over the years.
God.
But most of the men are, I'm going to say, between like 65 and 69, somewhere in that age range. And they show them not only some of the games. I mean, the important one was the game against USSR at the time, the Soviet Union, which people forget was the semifinals. It was not the gold medal round.
Right. They do forget that. You're right.
Yes. And then, of course, the final game against Finland. And they also show them footage in their hometowns, like their local news, because a lot of the team members were from Minnesota or they were from Boston. So
Nanne, our friend, was part of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost all of them were from
Him?
Minnesota. And of the remainder, there was 2, 3, 4 from Massachusetts. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then the others were from the upper Midwest, some from South Dakota, University of Minnesota, University of Minnesota, Duluth. And remember, they all had to be amateur. You couldn't have pros play at the time.
Right.
Nope.
And so these are a bunch of like college kids. And Herb Brooks was the winningest coach at the time, University of Minnesota, for hockey nationwide. And just like he was a really hard coach, and some of the coaching techniques would not be used today, but at the same time, these people have such loyalty to him. It's very, very sweet.
Well,
we hear from his kids.
I will tell you this, Herbie Brooks, I thought the world of him. I was lucky enough to get to know him. We weren't friends or anything, but I got to know him. Just a great guy. I mean, he didn't put up with anybody's BS. I will tell you that.
No, he did not. And you see it. You see it on the screen. But you also hear about his disappointment of not making the 1960 hockey team. And this was his own sort of like retribution for being the last guy cut from the Olympic team in 1960.
Correct.
And just seeing all this, and you've got a lot of the Massachusetts accents coming into play, which are amazing. But I will tell you, the heart of this movie is about seeing all of the old footage. So these guys are now in their mid to late 60s, and they're seeing footage of their parents, who are obviously no longer alive. And
yeah.
I know this is where you're not going to be able to make it through. I mean, these guys are sobbing.
Yeah.
I'm sobbing, but it's so meaningful. And seeing like someone like Jim Craig, who's the goalie. This is the guy that I was yesterday saying like, "Where's my father?
Yep.
Where's my father?" But for them, he had lost his mother to breast cancer leading up to the Olympics. And for them, this was that moment. And I guess I didn't realize that his mother had passed away. And then him seeing his dad, he goes, my dad was just devastated and so sad. He said the only thing that brought him joy was me going through this Olympics experience and winning. Because he's like, I knew that I was winning it for my mother. This was bringing my father joy. And so having that moment on the ice, like the hair on your arms just like stands up because you're like, oh.
Yeah, they're all between
sounds
20
great.
and 25 pretty much. So they're all, somewhere between 65 and 70 at this point. There was one 19-year-old on the team, though.
Who is no longer alive, I believe. He died by suicide in 2021.
No, Mike Ramsey, he's still alive.
There was also the other younger one.
There's two 20-year-olds. They're both still alive.
Maybe he was 21 because one of them
There's plenty of 21-year-olds.
What was his name?
I don't remember. He died by suicide, and he had a lot of problems. Like he had, like as a teen, he had accidentally shot his friend.
Oh,
And
God.
then
Bob
he had some
Suter?
domestic violence issues.
No, it was Mark Pavelich, something like that. He's the one
Yeah.
that you're
That's
thinking
Pavelich,
of.
yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, he was
I didn't know
21
Pavlich
years old.
killed himself. I never knew that.
Died
Yeah.
in 2021 in Minnesota, too.
Oh,
wow.
2021. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much else going on that year. People probably just didn't even notice. But, I was thinking about it, too. I was like, I remember, because Herb Brooks also passed away in Minnesota. And I was like, I was living in Minnesota when that happened. So it was big news, obviously.
Yep.
But this documentary is so good, and it's like at the right time. I mean, obviously time to the Olympics, but also just that feeling of like maybe the Olympics will bring us all together if we have like one of these great stories again.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be
That
nice?
would be very nice.
It was so cool watching people like at bars and just all screaming like USA. And obviously they were on in Lake Placid, New York, but also you've seen how much the Olympics have grown because they created like a speed skating rink right in front of the high school. Like now they would build a stadium for that,
Oh, yeah.
They
Oh,
just
yeah.
like flooded the parking lot to the high school, and that's where Eric Heiden, who was supposed to be the big American star and was in speed skating, was skating. And you're like, that just seems so quaint and old fashioned. And,
Yeah.
you wouldn't see Apollo Anton Ono like going out there and skating on a parking lot. That wasn't the way it went.
You just gave me a couple of great memories here. Many, many years ago when Louis Nanne was running the team, the Minnesota North Stars, which are now the, whatever the hell they are, the Dallas Stars or something. But Catherine, how long had we known each other when we went to see that very first hockey game with Louis?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. It was a
I'd only
long
known you
time
about-
ago. I think Louis he had every position with the team except for one.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
did.
know if he was president. He might have been every other thing, but he worked with them for a very, very long time.
Still
And
might.
he invited us to the suite.
He
This
did
giant, beautiful suite. And that was at the old stadium too.
Was that at Met Stadium? Met Sports Center.
Yeah.
Looks like he
next to
joined
Met
the North
Stadium.
Stars in '68.
God.
And
Yeah.
then he became the GM from '78 to '88. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Loved him.
Yeah, he was other things though. I remember Michelle, his daughter, telling me that he was in a lot of different. He wore a lot of different hats for the team.
One of my favorites, Kristen, you lived here, so you know this. I did the voiceover for Musicland for years. I was the voice of Musicland, coming by your records, which nobody does anymore, obviously.
Nope.
It's all digital. But, and I won't say the name of the owner, but the owner and his wife were at that game that we're sitting there. So there was Louis to the left, then she in the middle, and then me on the right. We're all sitting together talking, so she was between the two of us. And the whole time Louis talking, I see him glancing constantly at the net. We're on the third level, and he's looking down, and he's just very nervous because it's a tie game, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, there's a shot on goal, and it hits the pipe and doesn't go in. And Louis is staring right at her, and I won't say her name, like I said. And he goes, yeah, so anyway, oh, F. Only he didn't say F.
Yep.
Sweet Lou from the Sioux. That's what
Sweet Lou from the Sioux. That's
they.
exactly
Sault Ste.
right.
Marie.
Well, here's a little snippet that shows how much things have changed since he started playing hockey.
Okay.
So in 1963, the Chicago Blackhawks offered a contract for him. He
For
turned
Louis?
but he turned it down because he made 3 times what the contract was worth working as a salesman for an envelope manufacturing company.
Oh, that's right. He worked for McKay. I think, was it McKay?
Yep, Harvey
I think it
McKay.
was.
Yep.
Yeah, he knew Harvey for a very long time.
Can you imagine
that's
that
so
story
funny. This is
happening
bringing-
today?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
they talk about that. They talk about how unpopular hockey was
Yeah.
until this win, and the kids who were playing were all from like really scrappy blue collar backgrounds.
Yeah.
You know, parents kind of like saving up so that they could play the game. And now, if you look at hockey, oftentimes these kids are recruited to New England prep schools, and then they're fed into some of the. I don't know. They don't call them farm teams, I don't think, but it's some of the junior teams that feed into the NHL. And it really is a very expensive sport now. So it's not just
Right.
like these scrappy kids, like, and their parents like just saving every dollar to go. I mean, and you just see that. Mike Ruzioni was like, I wanted to go to a camp, and it was like a hockey camp, and it was $75, and his parents had 1 million kids.
Yeah.
And his uncle loaned him $75 so that he could go and attend the camp.
Loaned him.
And his uncle, and this was the other part of it too, the uncle like snuck into the Olympics to the final game against Finland, which you could never do now.
No.
And just to have that moment of seeing his nephew win the gold.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And that same dinner, I remember we were sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never been in an owner's suite. I've never been around all these, athletes and all these people. And I'm like, I'm taking it all in. And I don't remember what they were serving for dinner. And also I look over at Louis, and he's sucking the marrow out of a bone.
Yep.
And I was like,
Great.
this is a genuine guy. He's just a
Yep.
genuine human being.
Yep.
And his family was so into food. I mean, honest to God, they all are fabulous. If you go to one of their dinners, you're going to have the best Italian food you've ever had in your life. And they just love food and going out to dinner. And
was
they're very
great.
social. Wonderful family, wonderful people.
Yep. Wonderful time, as a matter of fact. I still can't believe Minnesota's never won an NHL title.
That's embarrassing because this is hockey country. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know, it is weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, it'd be the same if the Boston Bruins hadn't won a Stanley Cup, but I mean they have.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right.
But it's the same. It's the same thing. It feels like New England and the Upper Midwest are really the areas for hockey, obviously. So
Once you mention the fact that the North Star, the basketball teams never won, but Boston, they've won a few titles over the years. If
we
I
have,
remember.
but we've got great. I mean, we've got great hockey. My high school boyfriend was a hockey player who got recruited for Division I, and my school purposely built a rink to recruit hockey players because it brings more funds into
Yeah.
the school,
Right.
Oh,
more
yeah.
eyeballs,
Sure
and
does.
it opened while I was there. It was like such a big deal. It was crazy.
Oh, Dave said when Vinny Lettieri, which is Louis Nanne's grandson, scored his first goal for the Wild, Louis was doing the color for it, and it was so cool.
My
That's so
God.
nice.
Well, who is the Canadian singer, the crooner guy? What's his name? He's like very, very famous.
Michael Boulay.
Michael Bublé.
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 Yeah,
He
Michael
was at the
he's his big
I think
buddy.
at the Excel Center, and Louis and Francine. I think the whole family went to see him because he's Canadian, so you got to go see them. And Louis was walking by, and Michael Bublé was in an alley shooting pucks around. And saw Louis, and he's like, "Hey, Lou, you want to shoot some pucks?" And they became great
They
friends.
did, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, Louis is full of stories. My God, he could just talk all day long about all this
Oh,
stuff.
God,
It's
yes.
great.
So I think you guys will get a lot out of the documentary. It's so much fun to watch. It's like an hour and a half. It's not long at all.
Definitely have to watch it.
Yeah, definitely have to watch it. Netflix on Friday. And my God, there are some good, a lot of them remember some of the Herb Brooks quotes. And
Oh, God.
the one about a 10-pound fart like that. That's all I'll tell you. There's a
Come
10-pound
on.
fart quote in there, and it's hilarious. And I'm
I
like,
think-
oh my God.
I think we were at some party that had some dance, and I think I think Brooks was just dancing up a storm, if
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
I think he loved to dance.
I really miss him. He's got a statue in St. Paul. That is very nice. But he was a great guy. Died in a car accident. Did he lose control
Did
of
he
his
really?
vehicle? Something like that?
I didn't know that. I don't know.
Yeah, something
Let's
like
see.
that.
He died in 2003.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Single car accident. Fell asleep behind the
It
wheel.
was.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
How It was 80, maybe?
No, he was
Or
only
younger.
66.
Yeah.
He was that young?
Yep.
Was that long ago?
Yeah.
I remember hearing
Oh.
they fell asleep at the wheel and died in a crash.
Tested
I didn't
negative
realize
for
he was
drugs
that
and
young.
alcohol, so he just, I don't know. But he wasn't wearing his seatbelt.
Oh, no.
And the state patrol says he probably would have survived if he had been wearing a seatbelt.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
And
Wear
his
your
kids, their
seatbelt,
kids share a lot of memories in the movie, too, so it's
Yeah.
really nice. Oh, that's so sad.
It is.
Wear your
I didn't
seatbelt.
realize he was
guy.
that young when he died. I guess, when you just, assume, everyone's just old.
Yeah.
You see 1980, and I'm like, well, he was probably,
Right.
He's 100.
50, or something. And so then he was, and obviously my timeline is completely off on his age.
One thing I will tell you about that, Kristen, and everybody actually, very, very cool is, the Twins won a couple of World Series. That's been 35 years already. Back in the day, the Minneapolis Lakers won some NBA titles before they became the Los Angeles Lakers.
Sorry.
But the people involved in the sports teams in Minnesota, I got lucky because I always got invited to everything because the ratings were so good and all that. But it was just, to be around those people was just phenomenal, whether it was Herbie Brooks or Louis Nanne, or you go down the list of whoever. Tom Kelly was great to hang out with, the manager of the Minnesota Twins. He had a look in his face where you could tell, today I'm going to tolerate you. You could tell by the look on his face if he wanted to talk to you or not. It doesn't mean he didn't like you, but there are times he was so busy he just didn't want to talk. And then he put this face on like, hurry up, let's go.
I think when you get to that level, you're just a very intense person.
Well, that's how I got to Timmy Laudner. Kent Herbeck and I are still really, really good friends. I ran into Timmy Laudner, who was the catcher on those World Series teams, and I ran into him at the grocery store. This guy comes running over, gives me a big hug, and I look at him and it's like, it was Timmy. You know what a great feeling that is for a guy who grew up in Minnesota and watched his baseball team win 2 World Series, and they see you in a grocery store and come running over to give you a hug. And it's just a wonderful feeling. Really is.
No one said anything.
They don't care. I don't care if
nice
Dad's
sense of
happy or not.
community.
Yeah, nice sense of community there.
I'm trying to help
No,
someone
just-
troubleshoot in the chat.
Troubleshoot.
Troubleshoot.
Just trying to listen to us through apparently some old version of the app, and it took him to the Power Loon, which is a radio station in Brainerd, I believe.
Oh, the Power
So I'm
Loon
like,
is, yeah.
how the hell is that even possible?
I like the Power Loon.
We have a new listener?
Tommy, haven't listened in a long time. Till last week I reconnected. I miss you, you asshole.
Well,
Well, thank
you too.
Troy Strickland. Troy, you're the best. It's people like you that make, it says, I missed you too, Andy, wearing my shirt again. Or you're wearing his shirt?
I can't tell what the shirt says.
It's a dog.
Oh, it's a dog.
What?
Okay.
And
Is that Goofy on your shirt? I
Let
can't tell what
me-
your
it says, I miss you
on
too,
my
Andy,
shirt? Yeah.
wearing my shirt again.
My shirt says, "What's up, dog?" and it's Pluto.
Oh, it is Pluto. Okay.
It's a Pluto.
I think you got this for me, didn't you?
Probably.
So,
I usually try to buy you shirts.
yeah, at Disney. I think at Disney World last time you were there, like 2-3 years ago or whenever that was.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he has the
He
same
says
shirt.
he does have the same shirt.
Well, there you go.
That is his shirt then, literally.
It is his shirt,
Yep, his
literally.
shirt.
Now we know the connection.
I love it so much. That's the thing about this whole deal and putting the family together and building this show with very little help from anyone else is that the people hear that we have a show, so they dig for it and find it and come on and listen. So I just want to tell everybody, like Troy, I really appreciate that. It's fantastic that you would spend the time looking for us. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Very nice. All right, what else is happening?
What else? We officially got the end of Stephen Colbert. He will be done May 21st. That will be his last show. And that is that. So that will be like kind of like the first nail in the coffin, I think, for late night, as we've talked
It's over.
about.
It is over.
Yeah, and Jimmy Kimmel, as we talked about, extended his contract for one more year, but I don't see ABC doing anything with his show beyond that. Like, if Jimmy Kimmel's done, I feel like their experiment in late night is also done, and I just think that NBC will probably be the only one sticking around with the Tonight Show.
I have a question for you. Do you ever deal with him?
With Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
Yep, I've interviewed him multiple times over the years, from the years he hosted the Oscars.
Well, I suppose there you go. But one of the biggest assholes I've ever met.
Yeah, he's not. Like, that's the thing.
Just to
you
me,
might have
then.
had, maybe you had a bad experience. And I know a lot of people don't like his comedy, and a lot of people,
funny.
don't like his politics. But he is considered one of the nicest guys in the business in terms of how he treats
really?
his staff. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just thought of something, though. Because one thing that happens to me, even though I kind of hang out, I've been on the left and I've been on the right, and I'm pretty much center now. But guys like him are told, oh, you better watch out for him. He's way far
is true.
right. They do that to me all the time, which I'm not way far right. Settle down.
Regarding Kimmel being generous to his staff, it's like when you're making tens of millions of dollars, and then we're all so impressed with the fact that somebody's generous, or,
That is true.
But that's the thing. Like,
it's really kind of sad that we
Yeah.
have to be impressed with multi-millionaires being nice or loyal to, a group that's helping them make more tens and tens of millions of dollars.
And that
I'm just
lot of
saying.
them.
I mean, I know they don't have to, and it's good that they're doing it. Some of them are actually doing it, like you're talking about. Taylor Swift is very generous with her
bonuses.
bonuses and all that kind of stuff. But they freaking should be. These people are living like kings.
Yes.
Well, I think about it, like, there were a bunch of photos. It was men's Paris Fashion Week, whatever. But there's Jeff Bezos with his wife, like, front row and center, and they're now hiring stylists so that they
Yeah, of
are
course
all,
they
like,
are.
decked out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he could
billionaires.
singularly help so many people with, like, a $1 billion donation. And he is not doing that. And it's like, it's crazy to watch that, and especially as Amazon layoffs continue to happen. I mean, I think they're taking out like 15,000 jobs in office-wise. Yeah,
He's
over
made
the
an
next
app
year.
that really just prints money. Just prints money for him. That's, I mean,
That's pretty much it.
And his $650 million super yacht.
There you go.
only $650 million?
$650 million.
Oh, why doesn't he have a $2 billion yacht? Why not?
And I will tell you that he has a publicist that if you publish something that she does not like, she must spend 24/7 reading every article. She will reach out to you and be like, we are going to sue you. I mean,
oh, God.
I mean, and every entertainment reporter has been on the receiving end of at least one of hers. I finally just blocked her because I was like, this is all fact. I'm not making up anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We took it to our lawyers up at, at my outlet, Penske Media. Jay Penske's huge. And they were like, there's no, she can't, she's a publicist and she can't even threaten this because this doesn't even exist legally. Like,
Well,
there's
they just
nothing
want
to
to
sue for.
intimidate you into silence.
100%.
That's what
And I just
everybody's
was like,
doing
I'm
now.
not answering to you. I'm just sending it straight up to my editor and the lawyers. Bye.
One thing I like to do is offer balance, because I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. I never thought he was funny or any of that stuff. And then I met him and I really didn't like him. But on the other hand, some people, I guess, maybe they didn't get along, but I loved Ed McMahon. He used to come on my show a couple times a year. And of course, he'd always go, "Here's Tommy."
God.
He did that.
And his
every
laugh, you got to have his laugh.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's true.
Funny thing, Star Search is back on Netflix now.
That's what I
And he
hear.
did that for
Yeah.
years.
He did that for years in syndication, and Anthony Anderson's hosting it. It's on Tuesday. It's on live globally Tuesday and Wednesday nights, and
Wonderful.
people can vote live if you want to, right from your remote if you want to, or from your phone.
Yeah, see, there you go. I just like the fact, though, that I mean that's one thing you must say on your end too. Obviously, is all the people you've gotten a chance to meet and you interview and all that. It is a hell of a privilege, don't you think?
Yeah, it is, and when you've encountered people multiple times and had good encounters with them, good interviews, whatever it is, good interactions. you kind of get a general feel for people. And again, Kimmel doesn't have to be your cup of tea, but generally has a good guy reputation. But I look at it, I look at someone like Reese Witherspoon, who everyone's like, I love her movies, I love her. And I've had rotten interviews with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
it's so super frustrating. So you just never know what you're going to get. You can always chalk it up to like, oh, maybe they're having a bad day. But then when you have those consistent experiences with people, you go, okay.
Well, and I'll give you this as another. I was thinking about that, just popped in my head while you were talking. I was such a huge Johnny Carson fan that to me, nobody will ever measure up to that. He was phenomenal, didn't you think?
When you have an ideal in your head like that,
Yeah.
how does anybody ever take their place?
But then he was prickly behind the scenes. So it's
That's
like,
what I hear, yeah.
you're just like, but I mean, my grandmother was obsessed with Johnny Carson. Like he could do no wrong in her eyes,
That great interview with Johnny Carson's mother, I think it was she was still living in Nebraska or Corning, Iowa. And I believe it was Mike Wallace went and interviewed her. And they sat down and watched the intro to The Tonight Show. And his mother looked at Mike Wallace and said, that wasn't very good, was it? His own mother blasted him to national media.
Well, I think our families are more critical of each other than anybody else. My God, you
like,
just can't
Mom.
measure up, can you?
Mom,
And
could
I
you
do
not
think
this?
Johnny Carson was hard to be married to. That's probably the other looking at
yeah.
Margaret
situations.
in the chat, Doc Severinsen is still going. He'll be 100 next year. And yes,
He's
it is.
still going?
July
I didn't know
7th.
he was still alive.
This year he'll be 99, so in July. So there you go.
He played that trumpet,
Yes,
didn't he?
he's a trumpeter.
And he was the band leader,
Band leader, yeah.
Doc Severinsen.
Wow.
Still,
So good.
still kicking.
That's
Wonderful.
amazing.
100.
Almost
Yeah.
100.
Love.
years
Good for
old.
him.
I know. They keep on talking about the person's been born that's going to live to be 150. It's like, no, thank you. I hope it's not me.
Yes, exactly.
I think the earth will be melted by then. I don't know.
I think the last 60 years of your life are probably not going to be that great.
You know how lucky I got there when she started that sentence, said, I hope it's not, I thought she was going to say Tom, but she said me. So there you go. I hope it's not me instead of, God, I hope it's
You
not
probably
Tom that
will
lives
live to be
forever.
150. You're so stubborn.
Oh, well, that's what it is.
Immortality
I do.
through spite.
Poke.
Oh, God. Oh, by the way, went down to the lobby today to take an early walk, and, we had one of the guys. What was his? He's not a plumber. What's his actual title? Craig.
Yeah, he
Oh,
is a
Greg.
plumber.
Oh, speaking of which, I have a comment on YouTube I'd like to read quickly.
What?
Let's see. Need to bring it up quick. Community tab. Someone named Awesome Max on our live video from 2020 or the 26th said, "This is awesome. Hey, I know that plumber quite well." So someone out there
It's a small
is
world
a
after all.
friend of
It's just a
Greg's.
small world after
He walked in and all the rest of it, and all of a sudden he realized that because his wife apparently never missed the morning show on KQRS for all those years. It was just such a cool thing because it just happened. I like it when it just, you're not like this, that, or the other thing. It just kind of happened.
Well, when you called him in to sit down, he just was so relaxed. He's like, again, throw him on.
Yep.
talk.
It was.
La la la.
It was terrific.
He
It
was
was
just
wonderful.
absolutely not bothered.
But don't you think, Kristen, that's part of this whole world of doing what we do is like you get to meet people like that, whether it's somebody very, very famous or somebody very, very nice we get an opportunity to meet a lot of people that other people would never meet. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's true. Or you get experiences that, you...
Yeah,
I sometimes
yeah.
think, I'm like, oh, wait, I did that? Like, that's crazy. Sometimes a memory will pop up on my phone, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I rode on the Goodyear blimp. Like, that's just, like, so random, but I did a story up there. Or, or I went to Haiti to do a documentary. Like, you just never know when you're in the media where your career actually takes you. It's so vast. It's crazy.
It is insane, and I like to piss Catherine off with this one every time, but because we don't exactly agree politically, not Catherine and me, I'm talking about this person I'm about to talk to, but every time somebody goes, oh, that's blah, 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 I say, yeah, it's interesting. Just a few years ago on the show, I got a hug and a kiss goodbye from Jane Fonda, and the reason I
Definitely
point
a
that out
highlight
is
of your life.
no, well, she's not exactly an unknown, but the number one thing is she and I politically don't agree on anything, but it didn't matter. can we ever get to the point where that doesn't matter to people so much?
We can't even get
Oh,
there.
my God.
We're done.
Like,
We need
Jesus.
to like erase the whiteboard and start all over when it comes to politics in the
guess.
U.S. Start
guess.
fresh. It's all a mess.
Yeah, my God, let's just try to get along, kids. What do you say? Whatever. All right. Well, oh, my God, you got to go.
Oh my God.
As usual. Typical.
So busy.
You are busy. Everything's going well, though?
Yeah, everything's good. And Shrinking is back tonight on Apple TV for those of you who watch the series. So
Well, Shrinky, you like that, don't you, Kathy?
good show. Michael J. Fox is starring in the episode right now.
I
so.
don't think I've watched it.
Oh, I thought you did watch one episode. We'll watch it together then. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Third season. So
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North. Sorry, I always interrupt you, Andy. I'm sorry. I got to wait for you to say goodbye. That's my fault.
It's all right.
Kristen Burt. Well, it is. I always interrupt you. Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We shall take a break and be right back with a guy I think is going to be rather interesting. Running for what again?
State auditor.
Minnesota State.
Minnesota State auditor,
Auditor.
yes.
Yeah. Is he calling in or coming in?
He's in the other room.
Oh, he is there. Good.
Yep.
Nate George, our very special guest, up next. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Pally?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget, and now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's take a second and talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company, of course, with Bill Ski. As a business owner, you're always looking for opportunities to grow, and that's where North American Banking Company can help. Their business banking team offers tailored solutions, whether you're expanding your team, opening a new location, or upgrading equipment. Because they're locally owned, loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities, which means faster approvals and more flexibility to meet your needs. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Visit nabanco.com to learn more.
Whoa, need to adjust that focus there a
What's
little
going
bit.
on
but-
with the chat and being censored and what's going on?
Oh, they're just joking around.
You guys are very fuzzy.
Yes, I have to
Fuzzy
adjust the
looking.
focus.
Okay.
Oh, wait, and he's got to go.
Well,
Way to go, Nate. You come in and ruin everything.
I guess we had a
Typical.
troll enter the chat, I think, a few days ago.
Oh, is
so
that what it was?
Andy bumped up the censorship on the chat, and now somebody said ding dong was flagged. So they're flagging dumb things like
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like you either flag dumb stuff or you flag nothing. And once the live chat gets popular enough, flagging nothing is not a great idea. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
that's
suppose.
the thing.
Why would somebody take time out of their day to go get on a chat
I
and
know.
be a jerk? Something's got to give with this
I don't know.
mentality.
I literally been going through that my entire career since I was about 17 years old. Because pretty much everywhere I ever worked was pretty successful. Not because of me. I was just one of the people that was on the air. But yeah, people don't like it when you're successful for a long time. They don't. Some people don't care for that.
People just want to troll anything they can.
Yeah,
Always
that's
have
exactly
been.
right.
They sure do. And we now have a guest that wants to troll the Minnesota state budget. With good reason.
Great segue.
Great segue. You know, it's
Needs
really
trolling.
Nate. It was really nice of you to
George.
do.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, we need to introduce you.
I was
Yes.
just about doing that, but
We'll do it faster then. Got to go
Oh,
fast.
do it fast. No, I was just going to point out to him he doesn't have to take his shoes off to come into the house, but it was nice of you to do it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's gotta be.
There you go.
No, I don't want to assume.
Thank you.
There you have it. So what's going on, Nate?
Not a whole lot. Thanks for having me back.
It's great to have you back. And how are we doing now in Minnesota? I mean, violence is way out of control. What do you think happened? And if you don't want to comment on it, you don't have to. But what do you think happened to make Minnesota go so nuts again?
Well, I think there's a lot of theories about that. I think a lot of it ties back to we have a serious mental health problem here in the state.
Yeah.
And there's a certain group of people who are utilizing that to further their agenda and distract from things that they don't want people to pay attention to. The rhetoric that is out there is absolutely deliberate and unbecoming, I would say. And it's all
Wow,
on
he's
purpose.
saying it out loud. You're actually saying it out loud.
Oh yeah.
A Minnesotan saying it out loud. It's such a
Absolutely.
rare event.
You know, and it's unfortunate because we need people to snap out of it. So.
I agree with you 100%. Look, I was born in Long Prairie, Minnesota. I was raised in North Minneapolis. Catherine and I live in, I don't want to say where we live because I don't want anybody showing up over there, but, and I'm talking about the very people you're talking about. I just, it's always been a pretty touchy state as far as politics is concerned.
Right.
But now it's just so hate-filled. I can't even watch it or read it anymore. I just can't.
Right. Yeah, we've definitely lost our civility when it comes to pretty much everything in society nowadays. If you don't agree with somebody, you're met with vitriol and you're treated as subhuman rather than just somebody with another opinion.
What do you think is going to, I know that you don't have, a magic wand or anything, but what do you think could actually happen to turn everything around? Or can it be turned around? Is it just going to be the DFL is the moral compass of the world and everybody else is, garbage? Is that just how it's going to be for the rest of time?
I think we're certainly in danger of that as long as we have people in party leadership that are furthering, that rhetoric that they are, and inciting the things that we're seeing going on. That's where it starts there. It starts with leadership speaking responsibly on in a public forum, and choosing their words carefully and trying to convey a neutral message rather than a radical message that's going to incite people to commit violence or do things that they normally wouldn't do.
Right. I mean, up to killing people. That's the
Right.
weird. They kill people now.
Well,
Right.
there's all kinds of social media posts of a lot of people in healthcare that
Yeah.
are like, if MAGA comes in, you should give them poison.
Yep.
We shouldn't have to treat people that are Republicans in the
Yep.
hospitals.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even in wartime,
I know.
they were
right?
treating each, whatever side came in injured, they were treating
Yep.
them. They weren't, well, let him die in the field because,
Yep.
Right. I was in a store the other day. I won't say which store, but it was like a small little shop, roughly in this area, probably 5-ish miles away. And the guy behind the counter was talking to some other guy. And I don't know if they knew each other or what, but the customer, showed the guy behind the counter like a video of something ICE was doing. And the guy behind the counter was clearly like trying to be diplomatic about it. Like he wasn't really interested in this, but what are you going to do? Just you're not going to tell a customer to go to hell because it's a customer. And after the video was done, the guy started, and I was standing 5 feet from them. I could very easily hear him. He started talking about how, like, we need to go start bashing their heads in, man. They don't deserve to live anymore, man. And I'm like, you're saying this in public with
Yeah.
people around you. And it's like, it's the most unhinged. I've never heard anyone talk like that before. And this is like, who's inciting people to believe that we need to, like, go murder people? Because this guy believes it. He believes it's time to go commit murder.
Well, if you
Remember, this
listen
is the
to
party
a
of
lot of our
tolerance, too,
leaders.
saying this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes, a lot of our leadership. I mean,
Yeah.
Walz has said horrible, horrible things about people. And now I'm getting the feeling that he's kind of turning once again into a hero because of the mobs, that the mobs now like him
Yep.
again. It's after he watched Minneapolis burn down for 3 days from the first, mob activity. Now all of a sudden, apparently they like to be destructive and like to do this stuff.
Well, they like
I
to
don't
feel
know.
like they're fighting the good fight, is what they care about.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not the good fight to burn down someone's business. That's the weird part of it. If you don't agree with someone, why don't we sit down and try to talk it out and try to find common ground and build from there? What's wrong with that idea?
Right. Well, that's how it's supposed to be, anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, we need more people with morals that value humanity and human life, and trying to find that common ground back in these elected positions.
Yeah, I hope we can. Like I said, I just want everybody to kind of get along. That'd be really great. You represent us, so if I tell you to get along, you need to get along, don't you?
Right. That's how it ought to be.
Yeah.
Government
absolutely.
for and by the people.
Yep, absolutely. So,
So-
when, are we ever getting that back?
Well, I'd like to think that you can start with me.
Okay.
So, as Minnesota State Auditor, I know we went through this last time you were on, but okay, why wasn't the state being audited to the tune of $9 to $19 billion going out, the door without anybody paying any attention? How is that even possible?
It's not possible, which means that somebody was definitely paying attention. The issue is not wanting it to be pursued and exposed to the extent that it has. And so there's no answer that I can give to, and I get asked that question a lot.
Okay.
And there's no answer I can give that's going to make anybody feel better about that situation. Because
Okay.
part of the problem is our auditing system in Minnesota is so fragmented that there's people looking at very small pieces of the pie over here, people looking at very small pieces of the pie over there, so on and so forth, and nobody's cross-communicating or working together to pull that thread and see where it actually goes. And so when it comes to the state, the Office of the Legislative Auditor is the entity that audits the state, not the state auditor.
Okay.
And so that's an appointed position, and it's not a constitutional position. And so they essentially get told to investigate and audit whatever the legislature wants them to look at. And so, but in addition to that, whether it's the legislative auditor or the state auditor, all they do is write reports. They can't actually follow through with anything. They have to turn that over to a prosecutor or law enforcement agency and have them actually pursue a case. And so if they don't do that, then it goes nowhere.
Right.
Okay, so if they throw that in the garbage, oh, we don't like this. What recourse do the people that are paying the taxes that are being stolen, what recourse do we have?
Vote them out. That's
Oh.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's
if
about
you
it.
know, because I feel like the auditor positions aren't, like hotly contested or even, I don't think people even think about it. You just think, oh, auditor, they're looking through the financials and
Right.
doing the right thing and
Yep.
everything's good.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, and that's part of what my mission is going around right now. I mean, every night I'm in front of a different group talking to folks about what the state auditor does, and just educating people on that role. Because a part of the problem is one, they don't know about it, which is normal, right? They don't teach about the state government in high school civics class, and so
They should.
they should, and so how else are people going to know unless they get curious one day and Google something?
Yep.
And so educating people on what it does, and then educating people on what it can't do. because right now we have candidates, unfortunately, on both sides, my opponent being one of them, who are putting some false messaging out there as to what they can actually do as a state auditor. And people, because people don't know what it can do or even that it exists, they say things that sound really nice and then they buy into it and they think, oh, that's great. So it's important to know because we have laws that govern these positions. And I think that's part of the problem as well, is we have people in these positions that don't know the laws, or they flat out go around them or break them.
Yeah.
And so there's another reason why we're not getting information, because they bury it and they don't put it out to the public so that the public can be informed and make informed votes.
God, that's so amazing. Now, how many people, is it just the two of you running for that office now? Are there more people involved?
For auditor,
Yeah.
just me and one other Republican candidate.
Oh, okay. So there's the two of you. So I just, are we ever going to get to a point? Because I do remember another thing as a little kid watching the, what was the big parade called again? The
Holidazzle?
Aquatennial. The
Aquatennial.
Aquatennial.
Oh, Aquatennial.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think we get to have that anymore.
No,
No,
I think
you
that's I think that's like officially over, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard about
But
it.
as a little boy and a young man, would see different people, one on the Democratic side, one on the Republican side. They'd walk up, hey, you enjoying Aquatennial? Shake hands, put their arm around the shoulders. These guys back then got along really, really well. So I don't know what caused that. And I also don't understand what caused this huge gap we have now where everybody hates everyone else.
Yeah, I think back in the day, politics wasn't a part of everyday life so much as it is now.
Right.
Yes, isn't that the truth?
Even at work, you got to tiptoe around your conversations and the things that you say.
Yeah.
Because you might offend somebody and they might take retribution against you just because of your political beliefs. Whereas, not too long ago, we could all, be civil with each other and be present in the same physical space without being offended by each other in some way, shape, or form because we didn't address politics. We left that stuff at home.
Yeah, I worked in plenty of offices in my time, and I cannot tell you what anybody's political leanings were that I worked with. I mean, we never ever talked about politics.
No.
I said to Tim Pawlenty one time, I said, I wish that politics was like Windows. It just works in the background,
Yep.
does what it's supposed to do,
Yep.
and leaves you alone.
Yeah.
Just leave us alone. Just do your jobs and stop turning everything into your personal warrior thing.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Why don't we take a break here and let's come back and Nate, you'd step up right after this and tell us exactly what's on your mind, how you want to get elected, what you're going to do if you get elected. I should say when you get
There you
elected.
go.
We'll be right back in just a couple minutes more with Nate right after this.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. That's a signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the automotive twilight zone, one without sedans.
Is it really otherworldly that crossover and sport utilities have replaced sedans? I asked Brett Paul of the Valley Group of GM dealerships.
When you consider ease of entry, visibility, cargo space, and of course all-wheel drive traction, it really shouldn't be a surprise.
But what about things like style, comfort, luxury, and technology?
GMC has been refining this class of vehicles probably longer than any manufacturer. The new GMCs make sedans and minivans, the mom jeans, or black and white TVs of people haulers.
So what are the current GMC crossover and sport utility offerings?
See our sensibly priced Terrains, Acadias, and Yukons at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Valley GMC in Hastings.
A fifth dimension, beyond human knowledge, a place between light and shadow.
No, not really.
There you have. I got to mention very quickly before I do the Welsh response that every time I see that video of Jim and his son talking about the Valley Auto Dealers, his son was about 6 months old when I first met him. So to see those two talking about running a car dealership is very, very cool. Sticking together as a family, I enjoy that. It's Tom for Welshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Welshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Welshire is a place I highly recommend. Welshire is a memory care focused facility, has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Welshire Medina now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally, and they're a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They're the best staff memory care facility in the state. Welshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends. And again, they are my friends. I've known them for years. Set up a tour or learn more at welshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com. I love that, how the guy hit the saw just as I was done with the commercial. They're still repairing something outside our window here.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I'm hearing something. I don't really know what I'm hearing, though.
But is it bad?
Not really. It's
Okay.
faint.
Well,
I think it's an air compressor.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that
probably.
sound. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm the only one who can hear it because I'm wearing headphones.
good.
I don't know, Nate, can you hear
Oh,
it?
that's true.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, good. All right.
Good to hear. Glad to hear. So, Nate, what's on the agenda? What first caused you to step up and go, let me take the punch?
Yeah, I was asked to. Kind of similar to how I became a mayor. You could say I was coerced into politics. I spoke up at a city council meeting. Our city has been driven into the ground financially over the course of several years. Just a quick recap: we were about $1 million over budget. Our budget is only like $2 million to begin with.
Well,
Oh, God.
Right. And we were hit with a 48% property tax levy increase, and our cash reserves were negative. So that was all at once. And
Wow.
they were discussing it at a city council meeting one night, and I didn't hear any solutions. It was all finger pointing.
Yeah.
And their one solution that they did come up with was, well, let's cut out the police department.
Yeah, you don't want the cops. You don't want those
Yeah.
guys.
Well,
and women.
And to go even further on that, like let's cut out a third of the basic services that we're required to provide, and then not change any of the way we spend money or manage our finances that got us into this mess. But let's do that. That makes perfect sense. So I said, all right, I gotta say something. So I said something. It was a lot longer and more eloquent, but essentially I said, do your job or I'll do it for you. And I got cornered by about 20 of my fellow community members after that meeting. They wouldn't let me leave until I agreed to run for mayor.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, true story. So a year later, I got elected. A year after that, we had our financial situation completely turned around. Our fund balance is up to $3 million now.
Ooh.
Cash reserves are
Nice.
about 50% of that. We brought in about $13 million of outside funding to fix our 100-plus-year-old infrastructure. So new water lines, new sewer lines, new streets. We just keep going forward. We're making a bunch of improvements left and right.
yeah, and I would know how important new infrastructure is, because out where I live, we have these very, very old wooden power lines, the
Oh, sure.
poles. And every year, some guy either maybe imbibed too much or hit an ice patch and careened off the road right into one and knocked out power for the entire town.
Oh,
at
jeez.
least probably
Nice.
once or twice a year.
Wow.
And I think last year they replaced them all with new metal ones, and we haven't lost power since. So
Imagine
There
that.
you
Excellent.
go.
infrastructure, it's important.
Absolutely. And again, it's a basic service that government is supposed to provide.
Yep.
So, people saw the just the massive turnaround that we had there going on in Bram, and a lot of it was just common sense budgeting and financial management, not asking for more money than we needed, those kinds of things. And then they asked me to run for state, and I thought about it, and the options were Secretary of State or State Auditor. And as I researched both, the state auditor position really, seems to align with my background the best. So that's where it all started.
I love the fact you're stepping up.
Well, it just seems like Minnesota's always kind of been a tax and spend state.
Yeah.
Because at one time, maybe, I think, we used to be able to trust that the money was spent judiciously. And now it's like, well, we don't know. What's this, cricket gender studies in Madagascar for?
Yep.
Why are we worried about that?
Yep. Orange frog was a big local issue here in Minnesota a couple years back, and just another one of those DEI type programs that was pushed, and taxpayer money going towards that. And there's a lot of things where it can go unnoticed if the public's not paying attention.
Yep.
And missing inventory in the liquor store, questionable credit card payments with no receipts. City employees using the city credit card to buy gift cards, so you can't track where they're spending that money.
Oh, there you go.
All those kinds of things, and that's why it's important when it comes to the state auditor position, because, like we said earlier, that's what the state auditor does. They audit local government. They don't audit the state, and so we need somebody in that position finally that knows local government and knows where to look for those kinds of things.
So, okay, so let's say you get elected tomorrow, and you find all of this stuff, and you send in your reports to your bosses, and they throw it in the garbage because they don't want to, because they're complicit in some fraud.
Yep.
Which kind of sounds like what's going on right now.
I was going to say, hey.
Yeah,
This is
well,
all theoretical here. So they throw it in the garbage, and they continue on with their fraud. And then so you're like, okay, well, this is wrong, so I'm going to go to the press. But we have a sympathetic press that doesn't want to say anything against your boss.
Yep.
Because they're not going to get any more interviews, or they're not going to be treated well, or they're not going to get invited to the party anymore for all their stuff. So they're like, we'll just leave that alone because, this guy, he's an outlier. Oh, what does he know?
Never happens.
Can you go to the feds and say, hey, somebody's got to look at these people?
Yeah, in fact, that's what we should be doing right now. The state auditor's office has the ability to create working groups or task forces, whatever you want to call them, without legislative approval needed to do that. So there's no reason why they're not already, there is a reason, but there's no good reason why they're not already, pulling all the stakeholders into the room and having a seat at the same table to have the same conversation at the same time. And then it's on them to follow that through. They could be doing that right now. The public pressure is a big piece of that. That's why the fraud blew up so much as it has. At this point, is because it finally got into the public mainstream. There's been reports about it for years.
Yes, 15 or 20 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. But it's just it never caught on. It never, became popular public consumption, and so that's where the government loses trust when they stop being transparent. And so you mentioned the press. I appreciate you mentioning that, because the state auditor does have its own press division, and so they can use that as a tool to push information out to the public and try to get it out there for public consumption.
Okay. Because when I was growing up, I was taught that the press is basically a government branch, designed to keep the government honest. Now we know that that's just not a thing anymore.
Yeah. And part of that is one of the other tasks that the state auditor does, which is the executive council. And we talked a little bit about it my last time that I was here too. But that executive council consists of all the constitutional offices at the state. Okay. So for those who don't know, the Attorney General, Secretary of State, state auditor, lieutenant governor, and then the governor chairs it. That's a mechanism that was put into place specifically to keep the governor in check. And so the problem is they all belong to the same party.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yes.
it's, you know, it's a public body. You can actually go onto their website and see their meeting minutes and what they talk about. They last about 10 minutes. Whatever the governor wants, he gets. But that's not how it's supposed to work.
Right. No question about it. I listen to this one. Andy Jacobson, 2198. I first heard about the fraud years ago, and I believe it was KB1. I first heard it from. Is that right, KB1?
I don't know. I've been trying to sound the alarm, but no one listens to me.
Well, what the
I
hell?
don't know. I mean, when those suitcases of cash were flying out of Minnesota,
Right.
and that actually was on the mainstream media. That
Yep.
was actually a story that was covered, but nobody ever followed up on it, I guess,
Nope.
or they just hit dead ends.
Yep.
It's interesting how this Nick Shirley, this 21-year-old guy running around with a camera, an iPhone,
Yeah.
blows the cover of an entire
Yep.
state
Right.
Good.
budget being used for malicious purposes. Unbelievable how the world works now.
Yeah.
Can you still track him down, or did he disappear after he did that?
Oh, he's got all kinds of stuff. He's constantly talking about Minnesota. He's got a
been
lot
busy.
of things.
Yeah, he's-
Well, Dr. Oz has been in the state now.
Yeah,
And he went
yep.
to a linen factory, a defunct linen factory. I don't know where it was. It's in the state of Minnesota somewhere. And I think there were like 225 LLCs that were supposed to be housed in this defunct linen factory.
Right.
And that was, I think, Medicaid fraud, I believe.
Yep. Yep.
Unbelievable.
I want to say the amount's up to almost right around 20 billion now is what they're saying.
Oh, God.
Isn't that the kind of
absolutely.
thing that would be very, very easy to see with like an Excel spreadsheet search? Just like find duplicate entries for addresses. There you go. Now look into them.
Right.
Yeah.
It should take you a
Absolutely.
week to look through all of them.
Well, and that's where we go back to the conversation about one, we have people in office that are not competent, that, you know, don't speak that language. You know, how, they probably don't even know how an audit is done.
That's true.
You know, things like government accounting principles and generally accepted accounting principles and all those things. And so they don't know whether or not their office is doing what they're supposed to do because they don't know what it's supposed to do. But then you have number two, which is even if they were doing their job, there is a very purposeful effort to keep that information as buried as possible.
God, that's just amazing.
Oh yeah,
I'll say
someone
that-
on the it's Dave Bertman says the Briggs Building. Yes, it's
Oh,
Griggs.
that's the
I think
one.
it's the Griggs Midway Building in St. Paul.
Oh, it's in
Investigators
St. Paul.
found that between 22 and 400 businesses were registered to the single industrial address. Some billing Medicaid up to $380 million.
Yep.
And yes, it was formerly a linen factory, not suited for health services.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that they're investigating right now.
And so when we
So-
talk about business registration, who's responsible for that?
Right.
That's the Secretary of
Right.
State.
Yeah, and so they should know. They
Yep.
should be like, okay, you're registering your business at this address. Maybe let's have an automatic check to make sure that this isn't a duplicate entry or something like that.
Right. So that's how we're starting to see every constitutional office on that executive council is starting to have some kind of a role in all of this. And so
Yep.
they absolutely are all complicit in allowing this kind of environment to flourish.
Why don't we take a quick break? Be right back. Come up and we got another. You got another 10 minutes or so?
I got all day.
I got all day, Pally. All right, we'll be right back right after this. You ever wanted to see some of the most beautiful national parks and monuments in the most amazing way you can? I'm looking at video right now, and it is amazing, no question. I've got a trip that you must be a part of through my friends at Heart of the North Tours. It's the Southwest National Parks and Monuments Tour. It's happening this April, features the Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, Bryce Canyon, Arches National Park, Zion National Park, and so much more. Heart of the North Tours has a reputation for developing their fantastic tours that include airfare, lodging, bus tours, and so much more. For more information, go to heartofthenorthtours.com or call 833-424-2700 to speak to Mike. And Mike, you're going to love talking to Mike anyway. He's a really, really good guy. Mike was a total pro, as a matter of fact, too, at coordinating these tours. It all happens April 18th through the 25th, and there are limited spaces available. So, book now. It's a trip of a lifetime that you won't want to miss. You know, I had a little thought after he was on with us earlier in the week, couple of shows ago, but I keep thinking those trips we used to take with the KQ Morning Show out to Las Vegas, we should set up a trip with him that it's all listeners, because those trips are so much fun. It is unbelievable. So I got to talk to him about that, setting one up for, I don't know when he could do it, maybe next fall or something. Give him some time to set it up. But yeah, why don't you let me know, as a matter of fact, how would they reach out and let us know if they had actually, people listening right now would actually like to do a tour like that?
We could do a little poll, Facebook poll or something.
Yeah, we could do something like that. That sounds good. But I like I said, he's such a nice guy, and I think you'd have a hell of a lot of fun. I think anybody'd have a hell of a lot of fun. But yeah, maybe we could set something up for next fall. I'd love to do that. Anyway, we're back. We're talking about problems locally. That's all I have to say. You know what's interesting, Nate, is that, and I'm being very honest with you, and if you ever did tell me, I don't remember, but I have no idea, and you don't even need to tell me what your political affiliation is. I'd like to get back to a point where you don't need to know what somebody's political affiliation is to know how they're going to operate. That would be nice if that could happen.
It's like, is the party system even technically necessary, I wonder?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is written into the Constitution, so because the way that the positions are written into the Constitution are partisan, and so even if you didn't want to align yourself or affiliate yourself, you have to.
And that's why it's so difficult to get anywhere as an independent.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It all
I'm
has to do with
one of the
funding.
2 Republican candidates running for auditor.
Well, see, there you go. So you're a Republican. I didn't know that. You know, it doesn't. I want people who have good ideas and want to do the work.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I care about. I don't care. I like some. Well, like I said, I have 2 really good friends now. One's a Democrat and the other one's a Republican. They get along great. I get along with both of them great. I just don't understand it. It's, you know, I've been on both sides of the deal too and gotten pretty wound up about things. So I'm not pointing fingers here. I've made mistakes in my life politically too, no question. But I just think it's time to move away from all that and get back and like work together. What do you think?
Well, I think we could have an audit of politicians' promises and lies, because we could do a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how many people, when Biden said, you know, open the borders and let everybody pour in here and did all of that, and people were like, well, I don't know why he's doing this. I said, he promised to do that. He said it over and over again that he was going to open the borders and let wave after wave of people come into United States of America to strengthen this and do that. And it's like, okay, sure. And nobody believed me. And you could even show them video of Biden saying it. Oh, well, that's not what he was exactly talking about. It's like you can't even have an intelligent conversation with people
there's no
because
winning.
they really don't know. I think they watch like some little ad, or they listen to some celebrity, or they listen to some news source that doesn't do anything but one, leaning political way or another.
Mm-hmm.
They just will not listen to anybody. But if you had it in black and white, with a little video of all the things that these people say right next to it, and you could just post it.
Yep.
You could post it online. You could post it on Facebook. And it would make these politicians have to be responsible for what comes out of their mouth.
Yep.
Because you can spin anything. It's like we're redefining every word now. It's like, oh, that's not what words mean any longer. Words mean this because I say they do.
I changed it, yeah.
Well, that's one thing that a reason that AI could actually be a useful tool in this regard is automatically generating transcripts of everything any politician says and having it be a searchable database of, like, what did they say on this day about this thing? And then you could easily tell, like, Donald Trump said this about this thing on this day, and then you can go be like, hey, why didn't he do what he said he was going to do, or, something like that.
I think also if you have term limits, that'll help with a lot of that stuff too, because when they know that there's a finite endpoint, they're gonna be more apt to actually do what they say they're going to do and get results, because they don't want to, be elected into the office and then leave knowing that they got nothing done.
Well, it's like, Donald Trump didn't do a whole lot in his first term, and now he's doing a whole lot in his second term.
Right.
And I have a feeling that's because he thought after he got elected, he was like, oh, well, my second term's a shoo-in, and then it didn't happen, so he was like, oh, crap.
Right.
Well,
But now he
also,
has
he
a
was
time limit this time.
I know, but he was attacked from day one. All they did was try to take him down from
I know,
day
but
one.
he thought he was immune.
Right.
Didn't work.
I suppose.
I liked
He
this
kinda did.
this interaction in our chat. Kathy C says, "Is that Charlie in Albuquerque?" Charlie's got a fan apparently.
Charlie's got a fan.
Yeah,
no
Kathy's
question.
here for Charlie, not for us.
All right, we only got a couple of minutes left that I did want to point out. Andy, could you find a post that's maybe a couple back there that was asking about Paul Allen?
We got a lot of people talking in chat right now. I'll do what I can.
Oh, yeah, if you can't find it.
I'll put this
just
one up
clicked
while I'm looking for it because someone wanted a question. You can read that.
Question about term. Okay, this is for Nate. Question about term limits. If it takes a certain amount of time to become competent at your job, doesn't that leave a whole lot of power in the hands of bureaucrats?
It's a fair point.
What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. It's a fair point, but I would argue it doesn't, because ultimately bureaucrats they answer to the elected leadership, whatever, whether it's the executive or the legislature. And so I think if we can make a government that is more transparent in giving information to the people so that the people can inform their elected leaders what it is that they want them to do or act on their behalf, then the elected leaders, you don't have to have experience to do your job. Anyone can learn how to be a politician.
Yeah.
I had zero experience.
It seems really easy these days.
Yeah. When I ran for mayor, I had
District
zero
real
experience. And look what everything that we've been able to accomplish in 3 years. It's just common sense. Just get back
There you go.
leading with common sense.
All right.
Amen.
It popped up again. Thank you, Andy. Can you comment on Paul Allen and what must be going on behind the scenes with radio executives? I hope they don't fire him. They are not going to fire him, although at first we were told, and I don't know who said that he was going to be fired for telling the truth, by the way. What he said was the truth.
There are paid protesters in
there are.
Minnesota.
Well, there's no
Yes,
question about
absolutely.
that.
There always have
There's
been
no
everywhere.
question.
Every country on earth has employed paid protesters.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So Paul's going to take a few days off. Like I said, I know Paul. We're not friends or anything like that, but I know him. He's always been very nice to me, and we've always gotten along really, really well. I just think we're in a situation when it comes to money, because that's how you make money in radio. Is pretty much got to be straight down the line. I think radio management now across the board is
Garbage.
garbage. It really is.
garbage.
You'll do what I tell you. Well, if you're so good at this, why don't you go on the air and do it then?
Well, see, the problem with any sort of radio executive is they're not
Alcoholism?
talent. They don't know anything about being talent.
That too.
What they do know is they know how to keep their boards happy.
Yep,
and
that's exactly right.
They're making big money. I
Yep.
know the last place you worked, some of the executives were making over $1 million a year as they just sit there and destroy the industry.
Yeah.
Because all they care about is lining their pockets. They don't care really about the industry whatsoever.
Right.
We just want the profits.
They just want the profits.
Well, we'll close with this. And I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I'm just telling you how much the business has changed. When I was at KQRS, we had a 40 share. It was the highest rated morning, not just because of me. There were a lot of good things going on. Dave Hamilton was involved. Mark Steinmetz was involved. A lot of good people on the air. So it wasn't just about me, but the show had a 40 share. It was the highest rated morning show in America. Because of the way radio's changed, and it's changed a lot because of, AI, because of what we're doing right now, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Streaming and all the rest of it. But it's just... it's just not what it used to be. KQRS now has, I believe, a 2.5 to 3 share. I mean, and again, it's part of those decisions are made by management, though. That's not on-air people making those decisions. Management, who knows nothing about radio, will make decisions about radio. That makes no sense to me, and it never did.
You said you had a 40 share. Well, speaking of the number 40, thank you, Kelly Marie. Today is the 40th anniversary of the Challenger disaster.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Today, yeah. I was not born yet, so I didn't watch it, despite my best efforts.
Indeed. The one thing that broadcast companies, which are not broadcast anymore, I guess, what the hell would you even call them? They're not broadcasting companies anymore. I suppose they still broadcast TV signals, don't they, and radio signals.
A lot of
not
them
for
are just
much
hedge funds that own all these things. They're not even broadcast corporations. They're just the whatever fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, the corporate raiders come in, take the profits, and leave the shell.
Yep.
That's what they do.
And what happens there, and I'll close with this, and this is a flat-out truth, and I'm not just talking about myself, I'm talking about other people. Those hedge fund people come to town, and they expect you to kiss their ass at high noon, and that's just not in my blood. I can't do it. And many years ago, I looked in their eyes and went, this is not going to work, man, because I just wouldn't kiss their ass. That's what they're big into now. I run the hedge fund, and therefore... Well, you don't know shit about radio. Why are you making any decision?
No, they're still making money, though, so they're like, oh, what I'm doing must be working, because...
I don't think they're making anywhere near the money they used to.
Well, I think the hedge fund managers are, because, like, the radio station, sure, they'll come in and destroy the radio station for profit. It's literally plundering.
Right. Yeah, and after they get done, they show that they made all this money.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what they left and what the aftermath is. Then they just go on and they do it to something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they do. That's why we're being taken over by so few corporations are owning everything. Look at entertainment.
Yeah.
And I should say, by the way,
Netflix is going to own the world.
There are still some good people in management in radio and television. There are some good people, but most of them are not very good at it. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. So that's unfortunate. And I can say that stuff, of course, because I don't need them. I do my own show. I don't need them. And I'm happy I don't need them, because otherwise I'd have to kowtow to their bullshit, which I won't do. So I could go on food stamps then. What do you think?
Sounds like a good idea.
Start a daycare.
Yeah, starting a daycare in Minnesota.
But yeah, to close with the Paul Allen thing, from what I understand, he's going to take a couple of weeks off, or a week off, a couple of weeks, whatever it is. And I believe he's going to come back then, because Paul was right. What he said was the truth. And all these people said, no, he's lying. That's not. He told the truth, and he got punished for it because it sounded bad.
Well, he apologized.
Yep.
It's just that nothing's ever enough for these angry mobs.
Nope.
So there's just never enough. They want blood. They want revenge.
Yep.
They want someone to be destroyed. They just don't care about anything other than their little righteous anger.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's people that do reach out to the radio stations, all the rest of that, too, that make it much, much worse. Because they want to hear what they want to hear, and I don't care about anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, God.
It's really gotten we're at a critical
Yep.
point in our society where if we don't get some common sense back, I don't know what's going to happen.
And
All
I'll
about
close with
protecting
this.
their false reality.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll close with this, and I won't say the name, but obviously Catherine and Andy will know who I'm talking about. But I have a very good friend that works over at KFAN, and I talked about this and all the rest of it, and blah, 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 blah. But as it went along, day after day, it's like, oh, what do you know? Blah, 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 blah. And I hate this guy, too, because it was my friend, and they know he's my friend, so they hate him now. It's like, oh, my God. Would you settle down, for Christ's sake? I don't know. Maybe it's time for the sweet release of death.
Wow.
Oh, not on your own. I just mean you eventually pass away anyway. Yeah.
Maybe mortality's a good thing. It's a blessing. Two quick things.
Yes.
Rob having fun in the chat says, nice hearing you again, Tommy. I miss Philly. I haven't seen Philly in
Oh, yeah, we should call
10
him.
years almost.
Philip lives in Las Vegas now. I
That's
talked to
right.
him several months ago. He lives in Vegas. Philip Wise was one of my favorite people and every time I talk to Philip, I can hear it on the phone that he starts to tear up. He said, Tommy, I can't believe what they did. They literally, we'll close with this, called me a racist, and there were 3 black men on my show at the time. It's like, what?
Well, how did they vote, Tom?
Yes. It all depends how they
Were
vote.
they the right kind of black men?
Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to let you live your life, and I'll live mine. What do you say?
You're right.
Good idea, isn't it?
Nate, when is the election? Is it the same time as all the other elections this year?
Yes.
For auditor?
Yep. So it'll all be on the ballot in November.
There you go.
First, I have to get the endorsement, which is end of May. We'll have
Okay.
the state endorsing convention.
So it's like a primary, but not?
Right. It's basically the grassroots of the Republican Party saying this is who we want to be as our candidate.
Okay, so at the end of May, we'll know if you're on the ballot or not.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Well, keep coming back, would you please?
Yeah, I appreciate the invite and you guys having me.
Oh, it's great having you on. There's no question. Catherine, you have any closing words?
Keep fighting the good fight.
There you go.
Let's audit everybody.
I will.
Yeah. Seriously, please.
Audit the world.
I'm an enlisted combat veteran. I don't have time to play games.
Yeah, there you, well, there you go.
I have,
There
I
you
have,
go.
I have a quick little. I don't know if people have been noticed or have seen these little tidbits about Ilhan Omar's winery, which is where she supposedly got her $30 million in sudden wealth.
She has a
Sure.
winery?
All of a sudden, the winery is disappeared off of the
Yeah,
internet.
doesn't it? Yeah, it's gone.
What?
All of a sudden, it's just gone. Poof.
Never had any
Yeah.
employees either.
What
I think.
winery?
No employees either.
Supposedly,
That's
they had her and her husband owned a winery. I don't know what state it is. I'm guessing California, and it was worth I don't know $75,000 or something at one point, and then all of a sudden it was worth millions and millions.
right.
of
30
dollars.
million.
Because all of a sudden
Yep.
her wealth grew to 30 million, and she's making about $175,000 a year as a congressperson.
But we're the bad guys.
And so she said, "Oh, it's because of this winery just became so, wonderful." And so real investigative reporters outside of Minnesota went in and looked at the winery, and all of a sudden they were like, "Well, what winery?"
Right.
And all of a sudden the winery just disappeared off of the internet, and it's been scrubbed.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Maybe they all went to the Leaning Center together and worked on it.
The Leering Center.
Oh, Leering. It was the Leering
Leering
Center. That's
Center.
right.
It's called
It was one of those.
Crew LLC, ESTCRU LLC, if you want to do any looking up of that.
It was a 1,350% increase in wealth.
Yeah, it's apparently its
Yeah.
value surged from around 30,000 to around 3 million in the course of a year,
Yeah.
which is pretty good for a winery, especially since no one's drinking anymore apparently.
We shall close with this. There's a question. Will Stretch ever be on the show? Stretch is on with Bob Sansevier now. He moved over to Bob Sansevier's show.
Yes.
And he's on what time does Bob do his show? I don't even know.
Does he do? He doesn't do it live. I don't
think he does it live. Yeah, he records
No,
it. I
yeah. So
think.
he releases it when he feels like it.
That's Bob, all right. I love Sandy.
Sounds like a great
He's
work
another guy, though.
When
Yeah,
he wants
yeah,
to
there
work,
you
you
go.
can work.
All right, is that everything?
I believe so.
All right, Nate, thank you for your time and stay with us. Let us know how it's going.
Thanks again.
I'd like to get them back to serving the people. Remember when serving the people was a very big thing?
Or at least we thought it
Absolutely.
was.
Yeah, we thought. Was it?
thought it was, exactly.
Yeah, was it really?
All
Who
right.
knows?
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
And watching.
Bye.